Today we are going to learn how to balance an equation, chemical equation. Now before we balance any chemical equation, we should know why to balance the equation. What is the need of the balancing? Look at this example I have given on the board. It's magnesium plus oxygen giving you magnesium oxide. So we have one magnesium atom on the reactant side as well as one atom on the product side. But for oxygen we have two atoms over here but only one atom on the product side. So it is not the same. And as per the law of conservation of mass, we should have similar number of atoms on both the sides of the reaction. As per this law, it says that the total mass of the reactant should be equal to the total mass of the product. And if we do not have the same number of atoms on both the sides, then the masses will not be equal. That is the reason why we need to balance the chemical equation. Now this balancing is done through several simple steps. Let's take this particular example and see how we can balance it. So magnesium plus oxygen giving you magnesium oxide. Now after writing this chemical equation, we are going to draw a table below it in which we are going to write the elements and their number of atoms present on both the sides. So we have reactants over here, then products over here. We have magnesium in the reaction, we have oxygen. So these are the two elements present in the reaction. So first over here we will write how many number of magnesium atoms are present in the reactant. We have 1, so we write 1 over here. Then over here we'll write 1 magnesium atom. Oxygen, we have 2 on the reactant side and 1 on the product side. Now this oxygen over here is not balanced. So to balance it, we should multiply 2 with MgO on the product side so that oxygen becomes 2. And along with oxygen, magnesium also becomes 2. Now we have to balance magnesium as well. So we should multiply 2 with magnesium on the reactant side so that magnesium also becomes 2. Now here you see 2 magnesium, 2 magnesium, 2 oxygen, 2 oxygen. Hence the reaction becomes balanced. So by drawing a simple table like this and writing down the number of atoms on both reactant and product sides, we can balance the equation very easily. Now let's take another example. We'll take iron plus water, which gives us iron oxide, that is Fe2O3. Sorry, it's Fe3O4 plus H2. Now for this we are going to draw similar kind of table. So here we have 3 elements present in this equation. So we should have place to write for those elements. We have iron, we have hydrogen, we have oxygen. Then for reactants we write on this side, and here products. So how many number of iron On the reactant side it's 1, but on the product side it is 3. Now hydrogen 2, it is 2 on the product side as well. Oxygen we have 1, and here it is 4. Now we have to see how we can balance it. So first we'll start with iron. Now on the reactant side we have 1 iron, so we should multiply 3 with this iron so that we get 3 iron over here. Now for hydrogen it is 2 2 already there, so we are not going to touch it now. So we'll go to the oxygen. Now oxygen is having only 1 atom on the reactant side, so we should multiply 4 with water on the reactant side so that oxygen becomes 4. Now when you multiply 4 with water, it also increases the number of hydrogen atoms to 8. Now on the product side you have hydrogen, that is 2, so we should multiply 4 on the product side to make it 8. Now let's see if all the atoms are balanced. 3 3 balanced, 8 8 balanced, 4 then 4 balanced. So hence the equation is balanced. Now you will get 2 types of questions on this balancing equation. First, like this, a skeletal equation will be given. This kind of equation is known as a skeletal equation, which is not balanced. And also sometimes you will get word equations and then they will ask you to balance it. Now when you get a word equation, what you are supposed to do? First you will write the word equation, then you write the skeletal equation from that, and then you balance the skeletal equation. Now let's take an example of word equation and see how we can balance it. We'll take hydrogen plus chlorine, hydrogen plus chlorine, it gives you hydrogen chloride. Now first thing we have to do here is we need to balance it. Sorry, we will write the word equation for it. Skeletal equation. So what is the skeletal equation? You have H2 plus Cl2 giving you HCl. This is the skeletal equation. Now for this skeletal equation, we draw the table like this. We have 2 elements, so we draw the table for 2 elements, H and Cl, reactants and products. Now we have 2 hydrogen atoms on the reactant side and 1 on the product side, and we have 2 chlorine atoms on the reactant side and 1 on the product side. So it looks very simple. We can just simply multiply 2 with HCl on the product side, which will make hydrogen 2 as well as chlorine also 2. So hence the equation is balanced. Now same way, let's take a little complicated equation so that we will learn exactly how to balance. We will take barium chloride plus aluminium sulfate which will give us barium sulfate and aluminium chloride. We should write it this way. So our equation is barium chloride plus aluminium sulfate gives us barium sulfate plus aluminium chloride. Now for this we should first write the skeletal equation. Now what is the formula of barium chloride? It is BaCl2, because barium has a valency of 2 and chlorine has a valency 1, so BaCl2. Aluminium sulfate is Al2SO4 whole 3, because the valency of aluminium is 3 and sulfate is 2. Then barium sulfate we get BaSO4, that's because both of them have similar valency, that is 2, and AlCl3 for aluminium chloride. Now once we get this, we need to draw the similar kind of table. We have many elements in this equation, so we'll make small blocks. We have barium, then aluminium, then chlorine, sulfur, oxygen. We have so let's write BaAlSClO. So these are the elements present. So we'll write for reactants and products. Now let's write one by one. So barium 1 on the reactant side and 1 on the product side. Aluminium 2, 1, sulfur 3, 1, chlorine 2, 3, and oxygen 12, 4. Now first thing, barium is balanced, so we are not going to touch that. First we'll start with aluminium. So aluminium is 2 on the reactant side and 1 on the product side. So we should multiply 2 with AlCl3 so that aluminium becomes 2, and as well chlorine will become 6. 3 multiplied by 2 becomes 6. Now chlorine is again unbalanced, so we will try to balance chlorine. For that we should multiply 3 with barium chloride so that chlorine becomes 6 and also barium becomes 3. Again barium, to balance barium we multiply 3 with BaSO4 so that over here barium becomes 3, sulfur becomes 3 and oxygen becomes 12. So let's see if all of them are balanced or not. 3 barium balanced, 2 aluminium balanced, 3 sulfur balanced, 6 chlorine also balanced, and finally 12 oxygen and 12 oxygen also balanced. So hence the equation is completely balanced. Now this is the way we are going to balance the chemical equations.